I asked in my previous video if I should do a map tier list, and it seemed like you guys wanted it, so here it is. At the bottom, these are all the maps. I just added the 2 as newest ones. And do not worry about the ads. They're just going to be popping up because of the site. Let's go and start this off then, shall we? How are we going to talk about peak? Where would this exactly go for our first choice? I would say this is a really good map when it comes to choppers, jets especially. The ground vehicles can be pretty tight, as mainly people can sit on the hill with rocket launchers. There's definitely a lot of situations where you don't really stand a chance. What I do like about this map is when it comes to this infantry play, I feel like there's so many locations you can have gunfights. Of course, the C flag is extremely busy, same as the D flag, but even on E flag is pretty well. I feel like it has a perfect mix of all of the combat, exactly what Battlefield should be. I'm going to put this as a B tier. Now we have our Empire State map. This is basically the map where you're just farming all of the time. I would always say every time there's a new Battlefield game, they like to have a really small map, as people can really grind on it. With this map, because it's not big enough, you only have a certain amount of flow, as it's only infantry, and you can't do anything when it comes to vehicle-wise. I haven't played too much of Breakthrough on this mode, so I can't really speak about that itself, but I do like how it is when it comes to its conquest. There's not really any dry spills because the map is just so small, but I also don't feel like the map ends fast either. It has a perfect length. I would definitely say the Empire State map for me is an A tier. How are we even going to talk about this map, huh? I would say when it comes to infantry based, it's times where it actually isn't a bad thing. There's a lot of opportunities you can do when you have an infantry vehicle, as you can farm down the enemy. But I personally would say that this map has more problems than it actually has good things going on. Because my biggest issue is probably because everyone keeps sitting on top of the buildings. That's all they love to do. There's like one flag point, I think it's D, where most of the enemies would just sit up there, but they won't even bother capturing a flag. I think there needs to be more out of bound areas when it comes to the rooftops, as that's mainly what people are doing. I think when I do play this map, I probably get more annoyed than I actually do have good times, just because of the ratty playstyle. If they can solve some of that, it'll probably be a better tier, but for me, it's gonna go C. The Manhattan Bridge. Okay, I think most of you guys know where this one is going. I really do like this map. Most people will say to me, Neon, what is your favorite map in this game? Manhattan Bridge. It is tricky when you're using the attack chopper, but flying around the B flag, you can just melt them down. If you are a good combo of the gunner and the pilot, I think you can do definitely really well. Tanks is a hit and miss, and you have to be really careful on this map because mines are basically everywhere. My favorite part of it is definitely the infantry. It's an overall bright, colorful map, and it doesn't have a lot of dry spills. I feel like the action is consistent. For me, it definitely is an S tier, one of my favorite maps for the game. Now this is another one what I do like. It reminds me just like the Empire State map. It's nice and small, nitty and gritty, and just like most of the maps, C is always the most chaotic one. This map only has just infantry and ground vehicles. There's no choppers, and I definitely understand why, as it would just be too much nonsense if you just have a chopper going around, because you can't really keep yourself in cover, as you are mainly exposed. The only cover you really do have on this map is some bushes, and just natural cover what it has. So I do love how it doesn't have choppers. I feel like that's a perfect balance. And it feels like almost every point of the flags, you can have a good action. I would definitely put this as a B tier. The Valley map. Where would you put this one? I would say this is probably the most true when it comes to vehicle base. Anytime I play this map, I always choose to use a vehicle, or even just the air vehicles. It's a really good map to actually practice when it comes to flying, and this one also has jets as well. Because the map is so big, it just has unlimited vehicles. If you lose one, you can just go and grab another. But I would personally say the action when it comes to infantry base is really just in the middle. If I try to go outside and go to other locations, I'm just kind of running out in the open. I don't mind the map, but I do feel like if they fine-tune it, it could probably be better. But for me personally, I have to put this as C. Siege of Cairo. The map what basically just has everything when it comes to pure action of infantry play. It doesn't even matter what flag you're truly at, you're always going to have insane gunfights. I do love how the C flag is. I feel like it's a good one as it basically has a whole 360 gunfight. You can get shot from behind you, in front of you, left and right, all over the place. But it has a good flow of that C flag where you can capture it while still taking cover. If there is a really sweaty, aggressive map, Siege of Cairo is definitely it, but I do really like it, and if you haven't played it, then you definitely need to. For me, it's going into the S tier. I gotta be honest with you guys, this map here is only available for the smaller modes, and I'm not really like that. I'm a Battlefield guy. Of course I have to play the 64 player account. That's what Battlefield is about. I have played this on some of the squad deathmatch and the sabotage mode, but for me, I'm just not a small mode type of guy. It's definitely tricky to try to give my opinions about this map, as I haven't really played it enough. So instead of putting it as a D tier, we're going to put it as a C tier. But let me know in the comment section what you think about it. Operation Firestorm. It is good to see a nice classic remake for Battlefield, isn't it? And Operation Firestorm is just one of them maps what everyone probably wanted to see a long time ago. But now we finally have it, but does it actually play like the classic? I did talk about this previously before, where not every remake can truly be a good Battlefield map. Different times, different changes. You gotta think about it, when this map came out, there was no sliding in Battlefield. You could not slide. There's so many things what has changed from Battlefield than what it was previously before. And yes, I do like Operation Firestorm, but it's just one of them realities that not every remake can be a good map. If I usually play this map, I only really go for just vehicles, as I don't feel like there's enough infantry based. I have seen a lot of gameplay when it comes to Breakthrough, and that seems like that offers you more of an infantry based, but a lot of people are saying it's pretty open and you can get dinked pretty easy when it comes to snipers. I would say this is another C tier. Our next map, this is the first launch map for Season 1, and that is the Blackwell. Infantry is a hit and miss, but Conquest, I don't even know what was going on there. This map truly reminds me like the older Battlefield, because in 2042, everything was just open. It was just an open wasteland, and that's what it reminds me of. I don't feel like I can even run to any flag without even getting dinked. And if it's not the infantry players I need to worry about, it's the vehicle players. And don't even get me started how it is when it comes to choppers. You leave your spawn, you're already locked on. Sometimes you don't even need to leave your spawn. They'll lock onto you even at your spawn. I gotta be honest with you, usually when this map loads up, I'd leave it straight away. So you know where that's going. D tier. Our final map. This is the map what we recently got, Eastwood. Now this is a awesome map. Getting a map back in the States. It's an extremely bright, colorful map. I feel like for a lot of you troopers, this is probably going to be one of your fan favorites. Some of the flags on the outside is just not enough action, and there'll be a lot of chances where you lose your spawn flag and none of your teammates really bother to capture it, because mainly the action is in the middle. On the C flag, there's a lot of cover there, especially when you get into the bar area. But once all the chaos starts happening and explosions everywhere, choppers coming along, there's little to no cover. If the building does come down, then it does add its own cover, and you can also be on the rooftop to take the enemies down below. It has everything when it comes to all the vehicles, and it is a true Battlefield map. For me, it's definitely gonna be an A tier. And there we go, troopers, that is my tier list for Battlefield 6. These are all the maps you really should be playing. The maps you need to stick with is the S tier, the A tier, and the B tier. And of course you could play these other maps, but really, if you want to have a good experience, then definitely these 3 tiers. But troopers, if you want to do your own tier list, then send some screenshots in my Discord. I would love to see what you guys think. And give me your thoughts about this video overall, as you guys might have different opinions when it comes to these maps. Thank you very much for listening to me talk. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're brand new, and I'll see you on the battlefield.